reward on the road.
Diligence and dedication.
Today's the day Ningguang said to meet up again. Let's head to Eugene Terrace. Whoa, everyone's here already. Yep, pretty good, thanks.
Also, my cousin wrote back to me. She mentioned that people have started to get sick in Yilong Wharf as well.
Oh no, it's spread to Yilong Wharf now? Woohoo! So what's the plan? What about the final gate? Wait, so you've assigned all the gates already? Yeah, people are always saying 8 gates when they mean 9. It happens all the time, right?
That's right. But let's discuss it once Director Who's done with you.
Oh, so you were waiting for us all this time?
Oh, I didn't expect to see you here at this hour. You're in unusually good spirits, Director Who. Even pesky Baiju gets a fortune coin today? It's the sun symbol.
Aw, it's nice to see that Chi-Chi's recovering well from all that fetter at the border.
In fact, Chi-Chi insisted on joining me at the gate tonight. She's determined to help eradicate the fetter. One moment, Director Who? Tonight, you will stand guard over the Gate of Death, the most ominous gate of them all. It may not help much, but I transferred a little extra life force to you. May it help you stay alert and focused during the proceedings. You needn't worry about that. As your archenemy, why would I undermine myself to help my opponent?
Where to next?
Show me your prescription.
Also, she brought some fortune coins for you. are you talking about? Is this supposed to be a riddle? Yay! Operatic Hilly Tune! Let's go! Where should we go next? Whoa! You got a new outfit too? You look amazing, Xiangling.
Yeah, director who has the most exquisite taste in the world, etc. Her work is incredible! Especially this Glova hat! It's just as cute as the real Glova!
It's great seeing both of you together dressed in your new outfits. You almost look like sisters.
I don't know, Hu Tao. You're kind of asking a lot of me there. Why get me involved? Can't you just give these to them yourself? Fair enough. Wait, does that mean you're involved in tonight's ceremony thing? I heard the announcement from the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Wow, sounds amazing! So, is this what's been keeping you busy these past few days? No wonder we still haven't had that meal together. I bet you barely had a moment to breathe. Once the ceremony's over, come for food with us, okay? Promise you won't stand us up this time? Okay, I can get behind that. If you're a no-show, I'm sending the Traveler to track you down and drag you back to the dinner table kicking and screaming.
All right, we've been to 3 places already. Is there anyone else you want to give a coin to? Whoa, you got some for us too? Paimon's so excited! What fortune are we gonna get? symbol mean? Wow, you get Paimon like no one else does. Thank you, Hu Tao. Thank you so much. Huh? Why'd you change back, Hu Tao? Wait, isn't this the branch from your hat? Paimon doesn't like the sound of that. You scared Paimon. You've got a great eye, Hu Tao. It's a Rex coin. Although probably not the genuine article, because the Conqueror of Demons told us he couldn't sense Rex Lapis's power in it. Yeah, that too. So maybe it can keep you safe. And remember, the sooner you get back, the sooner we can go for a meal together and hear Yin Jin singing.
Remember how I wrote a letter back home to ask about the array? Well, I got a reply.
Oh, Paimon remembers. So was Hu-Tao right? No one has to be sacrificed, right?
Unfortunately, my cousin could not give me a definitive answer on this, despite scouring the family library. But given that the array gets its power from the ley lines, she suspects that the obfuscation requirement may be a rule laid down by the mountains and the land.
So, you're saying Hu-Tao has to die?
If my cousin's right, and as I said, she can only speculate, but she also provided me with a method that might just be able to save Director Hu's life. See this? It's a rattan figure I made for the director. One of many. In case you've forgotten, they work by absorbing evil energy in their owner's place, so they won't come to harm. With the technique my cousin explained, I managed to connect several of these rattan figures to the gate array. That way, the fetter blast will be shared evenly by everyone in the array. What did I tell you? I knew the Traveler would help us. Then please, take this rattan figure. I'll link you up to the array right now. Huh? What's going on? This doesn't make any sense. I don't think I made a mistake. But it seems like I can't connect the Traveler to the array. This should work in the exact same way as the gate array, by using the power of the ley lines. But the ley lines aren't responding to the Traveler, almost as if they believe she doesn't exist.
Oh, so could that be the reason?
I've never heard of anything like that before. I don't know. This is the first time I've run into a situation like this. I would write to my cousin, but I think we're out of time.
Children, come, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Liyue Harbor already. I could hardly ask for more. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift we might give you in return.
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, You are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. I simply won't allow it. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do, especially since I imagine you still have a very long journey ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination, if you will. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither. What's more, well, for starters, I require some... You would have to dig downward, following the route, but almost no one has been able... Even more difficult to find is Smaragdus jadeite. In any case, Smaragdus jadeite... Goodness knows if...
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Gran...
Yes.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in...
Oh,
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for me. Yen Fei, I believe you've already heard of the traveler and her traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liua's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui, before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chiseng. What a shame. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it if you have an urgent issue. Just leave me...
All right, Yenfei, all right. You'll have to excuse Yenfei.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An Adeptus? I guess. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time. And then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis and that he was fine with it. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff...
Is that so, Yenfei? Are you
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times...
Oh, that's a really...
Commercial consultancy. Crossel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once... He mentioned that he was... So, I guess I'll go look for him. Oh, you want to join me?
Wow. And at best we be a little...
peaceful neighborhood.
Mr. Crossell. How's business been?
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhi. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite some time.
Wait, isn't smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented out?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhi before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the... In return, I included a clause that
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false.
Of course. This way, both the client and...
In that case, might you know...
Oh, of course.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins? I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such short notice. My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and that's what the hairpins were for, too. But now that I've lost the hairpins...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Zhi somehow. True. Though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the...
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Zhi looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are locked, whichever way you look at it.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite...
Please. Please, however much it is, I will have to pay it. Now that it's come to this, I really
Yes, legally speaking. So hold on a moment, Monsieur Chow.
What did I feel? My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past.
Smooth to the No, it's nothing.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truly, I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract. Every last mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. It was in fact genuine Smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed.
Thank you very much.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be Smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossel's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yanfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track. It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yanfei. Is something the matter? Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but and I'm sure, a significant difference.
All right, let's focus up. We're going.
But never mind, Shirto.
Unusual actions have unusual.
Adventurer, think you can last a round?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
I just like to make people smile.
Listen, let me tell you, to our success.
Need another handsome sum today?
What should I try this time?
Oh there, come and see these rare and precious curios.
I just like to make people smile.
A toast to our success.
Need another handsome sum today?
Listen, let me tell you how it is. I can't believe the well-gotten.
Yes, I've heard it said that
A thin layer.
If you must see for yourself.
Is that so? So, did you find anything? So they really up.
there's nothing special to it. These two stones there may be only a subtle and I'm sure.
All right, let's focus.
But never mind.
Unusual actions have unusual.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus Jadeite, did he not?
yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yenfei, but might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Krosel won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Sinxie. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Sinxie. So much stuff. I need to find a spot where I can write all this down.
The key here is consumer psychology.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something...
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Krosel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Sinxie, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Krosel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus Jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Krosel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinxie. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality, and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yanfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus Jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus Jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhnayan merchant?
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossel.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossel, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like he came prepared. What should we do next?
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall. Traveler, would you do the honors?
What's this?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus Jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No, The hairpins aren't actually
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Sir Chow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
He's seriously intimidating right now.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus Nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite. But after receiving it and carrying it around, I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out. That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus Nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus Jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Chichao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Jichao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus jadeite over to you.
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei.
Oh, come on. No need to...
Well
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and art...
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents. Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today...
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Ad Astra Abbot. I am sorry, but you have not yet completed.
you've returned. How did it go? Good, good.
Well, if we're all set, Granny.
Oh, you.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave,
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Good. Indeed she is. Yanfei might be Liyue. All right, then. Let us...
Oh, Paimon's so excited!
It is but a single... There we go. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as...
Wait a minute, Granny!
Oh, you needn't worry about that.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside, huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with the sword anyway. You do it! Still, what? Oh, wait a second. What is...
Wow, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. I am, hang on a moment. Oh, call me, I suppose.
So you're the little...
Madam Ping? Oh, you may leave all matter. Your journey may be far, though it is the Adepti. Thus, we teapot spirits were created. You may consider me. Now, allow me. Have you any blueprints on you? As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion.
Blueprints?
Yes, these are the blueprints. Just commit the image of the... Then simply release...
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside...
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus, he said that this world is not a true...
A golden-eyed adeptus?
I hardly remember myself. What's more... Well, let's not dwell on... If there's anything you would...
It's already dark out. Should we go head to the stage?
So much stuff. I need to find a spot where I can write all this down.
There are so many people! And I hope everything goes smoothly on Hu Tao's end so she can get back here and celebrate with us soon. Lady Tianquan, the gate of initiation is now ready. We are good to go.
Oh, Zhongli! How did we not think of asking Zhongli earlier? Yeah. How did you know that, though? Drat! Paimon totally thought you'd have the answer! Then, why were you waiting for us? But what about her? That's not good enough! Surely there's gotta be something we can do! Huh?
Oh, look! It's Lady Ningguang! Wow! I didn't know she was hosting it herself this year.
It must be because of the ceremony, right? The Ministry of Civil Affairs sent out a notice saying that this year they're doing a whole ceremony when they light up the Mingxiao lantern.
power's almost out. Did we fail?
Did it work? What's wrong? You two look like you've seen a ghost.
Director Who's rattan figure is broken. I can't sense her presence anymore.
What? How is that possible? You mean Hu Tao? She's... what are we gonna do? Huh? Where'd the Traveler go? A breakthrough? About what?
can get behind that. If you're a no-show, I'm sending the Traveler to track you down and drag you back to the dinner table kicking and screaming.
Absolutely. You did 1,000,000 times better than me. Our little girl is the best. We're proud of you, little lady. But we only came to see you because we've missed you. Live in life and die in death. My child, your time has not yet come. Yes, the day of reunion will come in good time. There's no need to rush. Look, someone's here to take you home.
You're finally awake! How do you feel? Does anything hurt? You've been asleep for 2 whole days! If Baiju hadn't insisted that you were just out from exhaustion, Paimon would have been worried sick! Still, it is a relief to see you finally wake up again. Guess Baiju knew what he was talking about. The Knight of Lantern Rite, of course! Hu Tao carried you here on her back. Paimon was so worried to see you unconscious. Thankfully, Zhang Li was there too, and he said you'd be fine. That being said, why did you sneak off without saying a word? Were you trying to beat Hu Tao's record for running away and getting stranded in the border? Yeah, Paimon knows. Hu Tao told us the whole story. Sounds like you did something pretty amazing. You've had a lot of visitors over the last couple of days. Zhang Li, Ningguang, Lan Yan, and pretty much everyone else you could think of. Most of them have probably left by now, but Hu Tao's still waiting out in the main room. She's been there the whole time. Anyway, you stay in bed and get some rest. Paimon will go get Baiju to take a look at you.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing.
Hey, Traveler and Paimon!
Oh, hey, Xiangling! What's up?
You know what's up. Our get-together, of course. Yeah! You are free, right? You are not getting out of this without a very good reason.
We're not the ones who held it up. That was Hu Tao.
Yeah, tell me about it. She thinks being a director gives her a license to be a flake. It's like, unless there's a sizable crowd coming, it's not worth my time. But don't worry. We've agreed that this time, we're not gonna accept any more excuses from her.
Oh? Who's we?
Shincho and I. He said he's been wanting to invite everyone out for a long time. But given the situation with his great-grandfather, he never had the time. But amazingly, on the night of the lantern rite, his great-grandfather suddenly woke up. Shincho was thrilled. And he was finally able to leave the house. So we met up right away and made a plan.
Wow. So his great-grandfather's gonna be all right?
Yup. They had a doctor take a look and everything. He'll be just fine. According to Shincho, his great-grandfather has been eating like Paimon since he woke up. So now, the family's biggest worry is that he'll get indigestion.
Well, that's good news. But somehow doesn't paint Paimon in the best light.
Don't worry, it definitely does. Your appetite represents an optimistic outlook on life. Always eat to your heart's content, lest your chopsticks wither with regret.
Well said, Xiangling. Yeah, that attitude is exactly what got Paimon to where she is today. Yes, for real. Like Xiangling said, always eat till your heart's content. And don't lick your chopsticks. What was it?
Don't worry. Save it for the dinner table, Paimon.
Oh, no problem. But where are we gonna eat?
At Yilong Wharf later tonight. Shincho and the others are still out there. Oh, and Hu Tao said that we'll be joined by a special guest. You'll see when you get there.
Oh, Paimon has an idea. But she'll keep it to herself for now. Huh? Who? Well, we'll see who guessed right later tonight.
A reward on the road. A reward on the road. on the road.
Opening a chest is like unwrapping a gift. Bet you can't keep up with me. I'll race you there. Bet you can't keep up with me.
I can't wait any longer! Oh, yay! Bam! Huh?
A reward on the road.
no way for you to get up there. Where's a wind current when you need one?
Yeah, he gets my vote too, being my ancestor and everything. Oh, and also the Silver Swallow. Huh? Is no one gonna pick the Yunlai Angler? Even the Yuhong said that her sword fighting style comes from the Yunlai Angler's rod-wielding techniques.
Oh, everyone's here already! Hu Tao, your hat! Ooh, so now you and the Traveler have matching plum branches. But, anyway, what are you all up to?
We're debating who's the best out of the 8 adepts. Has Shincho been getting you into light novels? Come on, enough with the debate already. Everyone's here now, so let's eat. Paimon, you're up. It's time to share your grand philosophy of life with everyone.
Okay, one sec. It's like, always eat to your heart's content, lest you're... what was the rest? Ah, right, yeah, that's it. Always eat to your heart's content, lest your chopsticks wither in regret. So is it time to dig in now?
Paimon, did you forget about our special guest?
Oh, right! Paimon remembers now! Actually, Paimon guessed who it is already, but, no point in saying it out loud or anything. Yes, actually. It's obvious who it is. It's...
Whoa! Isn't that the director of the Yunhan Opera Troupe?
Amazing. I never would have expected to see her all the way out here in Yilong Wharf.
Aw, that's so nice! She's doing a whole new performance for everyone who couldn't attend last time.
In the past, you may have uttered something to the tune of this. Though the last displays a measure of talent, it is nothing more than Shenhe or Ganyu could have achieved if placed in the same circumstances. With all of that said, I realize the name of the young lady from the funeral parlor is still unknown to me. Ah, so Hu as in butterfly, and Tao as in Tao Du. A fine name. Fitting indeed. I say, I was merely trying to liven up the mood. Why is Hu Tao permitted to make mischief while I am not?